shaking. Give this a second. What are you doing back there? Give us a second to warm up. Here in the high desert, aka not California. Sorry, Steve. Sorry for your luck. Steve trying to be funny. Shout out to Steve at Corsair Trainers. He had a good stream this morning. Had all the crew in there. A lot of the crew. So yeah, we'll just let this warm up for a minute. We'll run a live here for what, 30 mics? Let's see. 1605. Let's go 1635, if not a little bit longer. See who shows up, see who rolls in, see what's shaking out there, and all those things that go on the internet. And if everybody survived the main topic of discussion for this, the government shutdown. We'll see if everybody survived, which you should have, because it wasn't that big of a deal, but it got everybody's feathers a little ruffled. So that's what we're going to be hot watching today, is the government shutdown and you, and how did it affect you, or didn't it? Which it probably didn't. So we can discuss that. But Semper Fi, happy birthday to all those that celebrate, have celebrated, will celebrate, continue to celebrate, and all those things. Rather momentous occasion. 250 years is no small feat, and many are celebrating and sharing their wares. I shared my moto pics over on the Twitter, and I guess I'll post some over on the YouTube too, with all the crew and all the shenanigans over the years. We'll put those out there after this. I'll get that out there. See who bites. See who we can dox. But what's up, nickel? My nickel? The nickel prices are going up. Prices of everything just went up today. It's like everybody saw Daddy Warbucks was back in town with his spending cash and his checkbook, and everybody's happy today apparently, because every market and every type and every size went through the roof. The roof is on fire. No, you know. But yeah, nickel, we ain't getting no Epstein files. I hate to tell you that. You're not getting a list of all his contacts or nothing, even though everybody kind of already knows them. Right? But I hope everybody that has enjoyed the birthday has enjoyed it, and it continues to enjoy it tonight, into tomorrow, the Veterans Day, those things that go with that. Many shenanigans are afoot in that realm, but we don't need no water. We don't need no water, really. You definitely need water. You definitely need water. Water is essential. But the government shut down. Couple topics of hot washing this whole situation, because just take you through a short thought process. If maybe somebody catches this on the back end, or maybe some isn't in the mindset of reviewing the government shutdown. But we went October, 40 something days? Did we get shut down in September or October? Can't even remember. I lost count. I wasn't really counting. But however long that time was, first thing, especially, this kind of goes for Dad on YouTube, but I think he's probably already thought these things, because he's a smart guy and he's an analytical guy. So he doesn't need no process. But for people, especially the people whose contracts are tied to the government and things like that, what were your first actions on learning that the government was actually shutting down? I.e., if you knew it was going to shut down, did you take actions to review your situation? Because you shouldn't have done anything actually physically necessarily, unless you were in really bad shape, unless you knew it would be immediately impacted, like the day of, which I guess some government employees would have been, not contractors. But people like Dad that are like tertiary type of employees, immediately you review your position, right? what's our status? How long can we go with what we have? Mostly in the financial realm, right? Mostly of the fake money, right? Mostly of the dollars represented in your bank account would be the first thing to review, which you might have an ongoing rolling total or declining total in your mind daily anyway. Very rarely does it go up, right? It goes down immediately as soon as it goes up. And did you take any action in the first weeks of I am going to use my preps to buffer myself this first couple weeks? Did you actually make a deliberate attempt to, like, I'm not going to spend and I'm deliberately going to use a prep because I don't want to spend money, because you want to have that liquid cash for other things potentially out there initially in the first couple weeks, even up till Friday, even up till you heard that, hey, it's going to get opened back up. It would be good to take note of those things and share them, please. I think I'm actually doing this to ask other people to share your actual deliberate actions, not accidents, not stories at work, not where people were. Well, that's a good story too about. I got Mr. Turkey hanging out over here. He was perched up behind me there on the board. But actions you took deliberately to buffer your financial position, whether it was eating out of your canned food or food storage of some sort, not buying extra like you might usually do deliberately. I'd like to know those things, because I didn't do any of that. I didn't plan, or I didn't go through that thought process at all. We just rolled into it, So I didn't do anything. So that's why I'm kind of asking you people out there, in particular Dad on YouTube, about his actions or lack of actions thereof. Were things actually so this is like the third question I got now. Did you actually cancel activities, events, travel, things like that? Because there was that minor holiday in the middle there, known as Halloween, that occurred, that people usually spend a robust amount of money on, costumes, etc., hosting, going to parties, things like that fell in the middle. So that would be an event that would maybe potentially cause people to think twice about doing such things, if you felt like you could be affected. Or what was really, I think, a concern, if it goes beyond this 30, 40 days, whatever we're at, if it went beyond that, if people were thinking, if this, you had to plan this could go into January, right? Or did you not? Did you really look at long-term effects, or was everybody just riding on the assumption that it's going to be like every other time and we will open up here shortly, it's not going to be a big deal? Dad did a video a little bit ago where he talked about, he heard, people were talking at work, and the normies were starting to, talk about this could have an effect. And he's like, duh, it could, not revealing his position, but hearing people at where he's at talk about that they were getting worried because of their financial straits, and with the lack of government funds potentially cutting off at a certain time in the near future, they were worried. So it'd be good to hear any feedback if anybody actually took any actions to plan, not only during this just to buffer what they were doing, but thinking long term, January especially, because this is the time of year where people don't want to have a lack of financial cash flow, right? This is the time of year where limiting cash flow really puts hurt on people's family situations, right? You don't, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these major big event holidays. I mean, basically Thanksgiving is a week-long process. Christmas, a 2-week, even, you could say, maybe even a 3-week process, depending on how you celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, and lead up in that whole month, and in the New Year's, right? Huge financial impacts across the board. So it's not like an easy thing to plan for or not plan for. But did you go into that process because you knew that you could potentially, or you did lose especially if you were already out of a job, if you were not getting paid already for a month. So that's a fourth question. And I guess my fifth question is, what are you going to do different next time? Are you going to do something different? Are you going to do any of those steps? Or are you going to take a different action? Ask yourself that. Did I eat into my preps during this? Even something as simple as using a 5-gallon can of gas you got stored away to buff yourself for that. What is 5 gallons of gas is what, $30 nowadays? What's the price of gas? 15? Yeah, we're above 15 for a 5-gallon can. But whatever. Did you use that instead of using cash because you didn't want to affect your cash flow? Things like that. It doesn't have to be food necessarily. There's all kinds of things you prep that are not food related, right? And I guess the question now is, what are you going to do different between now and the next time? What are you going to do now to prep for the next event? It is coming. It is guaranteed. If you are exposed to, which I would say, if you're in America, 90% of us are affected by the government shutting down in some way, shape, or form. You may not directly believe it, but you need to understand that you are affected. And it may not have shown this time, but if it happens again next time in a greater way, it is going to affect you next time. Whether it's fuel deliveries, food, I don't know. You just don't know who in your realm. It could be how it affects you is that you have to go help somebody that is in need. And it's not you directly, but there is so many, the government web is so large that you have to be ready for it to affect you in all cases. So some questions for the parlor out there, for the interwebs, for YouTube. Hopefully Dad on YouTube sees this. I know, even if you're like retired military people, right? Checks are in doubt. VA benefits, all those things for younger people. Not just a SNAP. The whole thing is built on government spending, and if it ends in such a manner again and goes longer, it's going to have effects drastically greater than this last time, and you have to be ready for that. Because ultimately the financial collapse of the dollar is coming, and they're going to push that central bank's digital currency. It's going to be revalued to who knows what, $100 to the one. They're going to lop a bunch of zeros off of your bank account, and you're going to end up with that instead of what you think you have, and that's going to be the reset. I'm almost as sure as I am as the sun coming up in the morning that that's the situation. So that's the hot wash questions. Hopefully everybody is thinking along those lines or has thought about it, but there's some extra thought processes for everybody, because it's important to review each time things like these happen, and you get to see the actual effects. You get to feel the actual effects and see what actually is going on the ground, because that's the only way you learn. It's just like, training. You can train to shoot at bad guys, but until they actually shoot at you, you don't really know until you know. So good to see the nickel in here. Bird Dog Gnome, how you doing? I guess we had some randos show up earlier. The baddest ever said hi, checked in. See what else we got rolling in here, and we have a rando. I'm not sure what that's supposed to, non-brain right stream. All right. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Agile. We'll go with that name. Welcome to the chat. If you're still around, I'm not sure if that was not brain rot or not, but hopefully everybody's thinking. And Alicia Clegg checks in. Alicia's channel has become a gymnastics channel, if you're not aware, which is not terrible, but it's not the same. So what's up, Alicia? My bro. What's up, bro? And the Bikes and Bullets. What's up? Semper Fi. I did my whole birthday speech to the core earlier at the beginning of the stream. Bikes, you missed it. You missed the first minutes. But that's kind of, hope everybody's thinking after this last month, after seeing the effects to you and yours and your area and your community, the wheels are spinning, because it's going to happen again. It's going to be worse next time, yada yada. So we're just like 2020. Hopefully we learn some lessons. We're learning some lessons again this time, and just be ready. Do the things that you need to do, because it ain't nobody's coming to save you but you, right? What's Alicia say? Not the same, just ignoring the collapse as best I can. I don't want to see hugelkultur beds, Alicia. Or no, your Walpini. You were doing the Walpini, not the hugelkultur beds. You did both, but you didn't finish the Walpini. I don't want to see it. Can't ignore it. It's coming for you. You gotta work hard. Gotta get out there and work. But hopefully everybody takes everything in stride and did not affect you or didn't phase you in a lot of ways that it could have potentially. But is it really over? I guess there's still a possibility it doesn't all get through, but it sounds like it's all gonna get through. They're gonna fund their all pet projects. Everybody's gonna kumbaya, and guess what happens? Spending goes up, debt goes up, inflation goes up. Oh my goodness, how could this have happened? It was those guys over there. It was the other guys. Stop falling for the rope of dope. Stop falling for the rope of dope. Yeah, hit the like button, right, Nickel? Like, comment, and subscribe, as the Salvate would say. So how about that silver price, Nickel? How about the silver price today? It's funny, again, like we said, everything shot up today. Every market of any type. It's like the government starts spending money and it goes through the roof, which when the government is tied to everything, that makes sense. But yeah, still silver up 4%, something crazy. Everything else up multiple percent. It'll be interesting to see how that goes, shakes out, Nickel. See what Alicia said. I had my plan, but Utah just let in so many criminals. You want to move to Wyoming? You cannot, nowhere to run to, baby, nowhere to hide. I think somebody sung that one time. Nowhere to run to. Stand and fight. It's time to fight. Which, shout out to Steve at Corsair Trainers again, emphasizing in his stream today and in most streams that it's you gotta buckle in and get ready for the fight. Where you are, he's pretty heavy on the political fight, but you know, hey, to each their own. We're gonna have to fight it at some point. Which, to Alicia's credit, she did run for, was that a county seat or a local council seat? What was that position that you were running for a couple years ago, Alicia? That you showed up to. That was encouraging. Alicia doing her part. But you know, there's nowhere to run to, folks. They did there was a stat out this week about the number of refugees per capita put into the different states. Idaho was number 2, I believe, as an example. I was surprised Nevada was like 20 something. I'm like, I can't believe Nevada's number 20 whatever, because there's been so many Ukrainians running around here. You would think it was almost like an ancillary, like neighboring town or something, because they're everywhere. Noticeably, it's noticeable. They're putting the refugees where the political opposition is, and the R&D's been doing it back and forth. Why is Nickel's questions trying to get moderated? Cut that out. Do I have another moderator in here? Do I have? Bikes is my only moderator. How'd that happen? All right. See, I think I've done that before. What's up, Red Pill? How you doing? Lost my train of thought. But yeah, the refugees that have been brought in. I mean, when you put a bunch of Somalis in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, are you not doing it to undermine the local population? Because there's nothing in common with the place they originated in, right? There's no commonality. It's like, oh, it was done on purpose to undermine the state and local culture, if you will. Especially figure 30 years ago when it first happened. Minneapolis has been undermined with refugees for 30 years. Dearborn, Michigan, over 30 years. That goes back to the fall of the Shah. 45 years of undermining those places. The Sinai Peninsula War, refugees. Where do they send them? Send them to northern states where it snows all the time. It makes total sense. Give them all these government benefits, all these government goodies that they have to rely on because they have no way to function in that society and that culture. Makes perfect sense. Your government is forcefully working against you. So be fair warned is fair armed, right? It was not done to benefit them. It was done to cement government control across everywhere. Yeah, Bikes, you're not here to censor. You're just here to approve the things that YouTube tries to censor. You're here to take out the stuff. It's rando type of comments too. It's not like they're bad comments. Nichols not saying anything. Nichols not saying anything bad. Let's see if I can fix that. As a matter of fact, while we're at it, there we go. All right, see how that works. Now we're really going to pay the price. Probably a mistake, but we'll see how it goes. Since Nichols seems to show up more than anybody. Speaking of showing up, for those that know, old school YouTube, all you old timers, Bikes, Poison Stinger got his channel back. So Poison Stinger got his channel back, had a chat. Was it Friday night? I think it was Friday evening. I haven't seen him post anything else, but he probably has. I don't know. Been doing the things this week. But Poison Stinger's channel's back, so expect some chats from him. I guess he's moved to the east. He's abandoned the desert. But Poison Stinger's back, so check him out if you remember him. I was trying to remember his name. We just called him Stinger, but he has a name too. But anyway, but he's out east somewhere near you, Nickel. I think Stinger's actually near you. And near Irish and all those people. But it's good to see people getting their channels back. I don't know if it's going to benefit, if it's actually going to do any good. Like, as far as people that are trying to get the message out and talk to people and network and put out information, but we shall see. We shall see. You're blue, Nickel. USA Watchdog got his channel, is that right? That's cool. I used to watch him a lot. That doesn't sound, no, Nick, I don't think you know Russell. There you go, Bikes. Bikes knows Russell. That was his name. Russell and his channel. When we had the whole 2014 throwdown, Mule and Stinger were like on chats like every hour of the day. They were throwing out the live streams way back in the old days of YouTube when we actually thought we were making a difference. But yeah, the whole slow economic burn, and we'll see when this inflationary collapse turns into a rug pull reset, I guess is what we're looking forward to. Greg said he's not coming back, Nickel, the Watchdog. I remember watching him a lot back in that 2015 time frame because a lot of the people were insufferable. You couldn't watch them. Couldn't watch them. And Mosaic Homesteads checked in. What's up? How did you survive the tropical storm? Didn't get the hurricane status down there on you, did it? I think it remained a tropical storm down there in Puerto Rico. Did you get a lot of rain out of that rain event? Normal, I guess for you it'd be normal rain, not a lot of rain. I hope you're doing well as you exceed expectations on the food production. I've still got my I got a pepper plant and a jalapeno plant still alive. Like I said, I'm trying to raise some blackberries, have them ready for spring. Good to see you, Mosaic Homestead. So if you're really trying to learn how to homestead and maximize your space, check him out. He's got some advantages weather-wise, but still lots to learn. Oh yeah, that's right, Nickel. You get the snow up in your area, neck of the woods, aren't you? I know there was snow back home. They're getting snow back in the mountains back home, as they would. You know, it happens in November. But winter's here. Nickel, sorry for your luck. You hate winter. Yeah. Winter's where it's at. Winter's where all the action happens. It's when you don't have to worry about raising your garden, so you can go out and do fun things. That's a good thing about winter. Did the burning this week, as you saw the video earlier in the last. Well, we're in Monday. Today's Monday. It's a holiday. It's hard to keep track when there's holidays. Yeah, we did some burning last week, and get doing all the things you do in winter to get ready. Mosaic Homestead says winter does exist. Come out and visit, Mosaic. We'll counter that argument. I'll raise you $100 on that bet. Winter doesn't exist. Or you can just watch the videos, I guess. No need to fly out here. But yeah, winter's here. Winters are coming. Prepare accordingly. But I hope everybody is doing the things and just taking in consideration the last month and the bigger picture and how it affected you, but also how you got through it, and be ready for the next evolution. What's Bike say? Trump is in the 30s. No, Temp's in the 30s. Trump. Temp's in the 30s in the AR, waiting on window to warm up before heading back. I've been spoiled. Oh, still in Vegas, Bikes? Oh, I'll bet it's like what, 70s and 80s down there. I bet it was like in the 70s here last week. We haven't had a hard frost. We had a very light frost there in the middle of October, just enough to know that all the tomatoes and everything else, are done. But we haven't had a hard frost, and it's middle of November. It's like I got too many flies and insects running around still. It's like you have all the pests I want to get taken care of, but couldn't extend the garden because we just had that small frost. But we could use a little bit colder weather, which supposedly next week or the end of this week, maybe we'll get some of that here. I always like how Prepared Homestead jokes about how people comment on him always talking about the weather. It's like, you got to talk about the weather because that's the first thing that affects you in your area every day. Like, you have to know what's going on. It affects what you go outside and do. It affects what you can and cannot get done. If you live anywhere where it's, of any sort of weather, which everybody does, unless, I guess, if you live in Phoenix, even if you're in Phoenix and there's no other weather other than hot, it still affects you. You got to plan more water. You got to have more water. You got to drink more water. Like, everything. Weather affects everything. Mosaic says, I have peppers, tomatoes, lettuce. You got it all, right? Now I want to see some coffee. Let's get that coffee going there, Holmes. Got to get my coffee going. Run my coffee boat into Galveston, and we'll run it through Texas. We got a whole network going or something. You know what I'm saying? But everybody grow what you can with what you got. I mean, we all can't build Walpinis, and be high speed. I would like still. I was looking at people selling their greenhouses. It's like the end of the season. Everybody starts selling off these small greenhouse setups they had that they tested out and didn't like or whatever. And now they're selling them on Facebook or what do you call that place? What's that one on the internet? I forgot what the other one is. But anyway, online, people are selling stuff online, right? These little green. I'm like, I need to get me a little greenhouse and get that set up because it'd be perfect for just maintaining the peppers and stuff through the winter and just keeping everything alive, as long as I can keep it warmer. I got the coffee plants already and coca, says Mosaic. Awesome. It'd be interesting to see how much coffee production you can get out of that. An actual, cups measured, and actually coffee cups made, how far that goes. eBay, Etsy. Yeah, I don't know if Etsy has greenhouses, but I guess you could find them on eBay. Yeah. But yeah, everybody reselling those, trying to get rid of them. All right, Alicia. Well, have a good night. We'll see you later. Good to see you. And your gymnastics channel. Bike says my brother had a good luck with the greenhouse Harbor Freight sales. Okay. Which is kind of crazy because that's bottom tier, cheapest you can get, really, right? But I saw some that were like that, or like the cheap one from Home Depot or whatever. People were selling, like, looked like people, they work. As long as I can keep it from blowing away. Blowing away is my biggest concern because the wind is just madness around here. Craigslist, that's what I was thinking of. Craigslist. And Nickel said it, right? Craigslist, yeah. I was like, what's the name of that? Craigslist. Yeah, there you go there and you find stuff still. But yeah, getting the greenhouse is kind of on my radar now that everybody's after end of season trying to sell theirs that they just didn't like using during the year or whatever. So they're getting rid of it. I'm like, okay, I need to scoop one of these up. And I did. I messaged the guy. I'm like, hey, I can pick that up tomorrow. He's like, it's gone. Like, dang it. Oh, that's so missed out. What's up, Liberty Garden? How we doing? How weightlifting training going? See a lot of lifting Liberty Garden. Don't see a lot of cow Liberty Garden and fence making Liberty Garden anymore. What's up with that? I guess all the cows haven't busted down any fences lately, so you're not having to do all that work. Mosaic Homestead says grow dwarf tomatoes inside. Tiny Tim. I guess if you have to. I mean, it's an option. I guess if you can get the warm spot. And I think the biggest thing inside is the cats trying to get into stuff. Knock them off the ledge or whatever, because you put them in a windowsill. It's like they're competing for space, it seems like, or whatever. But it's a good advice, Mosaic. Grow indoors what you can too, right? So I guess we're getting close to that time. I said we'd wrap it up at the beginning, so you can rewind. Oh, Liberty says not many cows to look after right now. Oh, okay. You got the cycle of going through calving to herd management sizes and stuff, which they had been talking about back this past year, that the United States herd of cattle was like the smallest it's been in a long time. Somebody was talking about that. I don't know if that affects you, Liberty, if that's true, or people were talking about that like during the summer, like how the cow herds were really small compared to the past. And Mosaic's doing a dwarf potato test, so we can all learn from him. Nickel says raise buffalo. They're good eating. That's a steep learning curve right there, I think, Nickel. Maybe if you've never raised any animals before, don't start with buffalo would be my advice. I can't see that going well. Maybe learn first with some sheep or something. Jumping right into the buffalo game might end poorly for your wallet and health. You might get in the way of something you weren't ready for. But more power to you, Nickel. I want to see you do it first. Oh, Liberty says when a commercial cow run for $3,500, I'd rather put my money in less risky investments. Oh, is the cattle market considered risky, Liberty? Is that what you're saying? The price of steaks is bonkers, says Bikes. Yeah, food overall is just insane. I talked about the coffee a couple weeks ago, maybe. I don't think I talked about it last week, but the $5.99 can, that was 5 years ago, that went up to $9.99, is now $16.99, and that's the generic store brand of coffee. And that goes across the board all the food, all the prices. Everything you go into the grocery store to try to track down is went up, ever across the board. You can either believe, you can believe the prez or your lying eyes, as they say. As Dad on YouTube says, you can believe me or your lying eyes. Oh man, it's just bizarre how people, bunch of bots on the internet. I'm pretty sure anything on the internet is just bots and sycophants and misinformation. Which means me, right? So I guess I'm my own misinformation broker going on is in this chat. But hey, you gotta believe what your eyes tell you, right? And do so appropriately. Sheep is a better investment, says Mosaic. Well, I guess potentially, maybe. I mean, you do get multiple products out of that whole deal. Liberty says, used to be that I got 80% return on investment with the first calf. Today, I need 2 calves to break even. Oh, I see. If you're selling calves and rolling them over, that's 30 months. Yeah, okay. You got your cash flow. I kind of get it. I see what you're saying. That's especially if you go just multiply that to 10 cows. How long is it going to take to get that return? And I think Seller was saying that he had trimmed down his herd too and was kind of in a slow season because his herd was really small. And I think he said he had cut back on everything. Even he didn't have any sheep or other animals as well, I think. Only a few cows. Bike says a wife stocked lots of coffee. Oh, Bikes is a brand guy. Bikes has got to get his brands out there to get him back into Arkansas. Smuggling coffee across state lines on Bikes. It's like Smokey and the Bandit, eastbound and down. Craigslist Farm is very active. Hey, what's up, Foco? Steve. Foco in the house. What's going on? Craigslist Farm stuff is very active there. Yeah, I'll bet. I think it's fairly. It's like small scale homestead type stuff here. I mean, there's ranch stuff in certain communities, but it's not quite as big as just people on their 3, 4, 8, 5 acres or whatever. Got some stuff that you can trade out with. And Rooster Cogburn is checked in from across the mighty Sierra. What's going on, Rooster? Good to see you. And Liberty says it's not that people are trimming down herds, people are not replacing cows. Yeah, trimming the herd by not replacing. Got it. Yeah, makes sense. Only going to raise what you can, right? Good to see the rooster, though. Been a while. Mosaic says he gets a return on investment with the sheep manure alone. It's worth more than cash. I don't know if it's worth that much. If it's worth that much, I've got a lot then, because I've got that stacked up pretty deep. I might be sitting on $1 million here then, if that's the case. But yeah, all those things you can do, right? Whether it's running coffee across state lines or tomatoes indoors or whatever, do what you can with what you got. Turkeys, just that one. That's our one for right now. We got to build that turkey herd back up as well. Might need to do a goose cooking experiment. See how we can cook goose. Need to do some keep stacking. To keep stacking, says Mosaic. The research is a bigger risk of losing a cow over 30 months than losing your investment in an S&P. At least that's how he sees it. Yeah, the S&P fund might be a little bit more riskier here shortly. We'll see how long that holds out, that theory. I guess I don't look at I don't look at I mean, if you're in business, it's a whole different thing. If I was in business with animals, it'd be different than just food production. When you're just in food production, it's not the same perspective. So being in business with animals is a whole different, like you're saying, risk tolerance level, etc. In the markets, you got to depend on holding out. Roosters stuck in California. Gas finally started going down. It's $3.89 for a rooster on gas. Hey, what a deal! It's wild. It still hasn't went below $3 here. I mean, we haven't been below $3 since 2020, so it's not dropping as precipitously as everybody would like, or have thought it would have been below $3 this winter, especially when it was pinned down this summer at like $3.35 during the summer. We figured it would have almost collapsed, but it's not. It's just kind of interesting. There's no reason for it to be over $3 really, other than California, just blaming California for it. The winter blend, the infamous winter transition, right, Rooster? Which winter gas is supposed to be cheaper because they don't blend it the same as the summer's got the supposedly cleaner because we burn so much summer fuel that it's going to be better for the environment once it gets burned, yada yada. Lies. Good old our future El President talking about. But all those things. All right, folks. I guess we'll check out. It's good to see everybody check in. Holy smokes. $4.89 for gas in California. I mean, I'm sure at Tahoe it's $5. I don't doubt that. I mean, Tahoe, Eastern Sierra, all up and down Mammoth and down south there, I'm sure is crazy expensive. It's never not expensive on the Eastern Sierra compared to, well, it's equivalent to LA and stuff like that usually most times. Madness. But we're gonna roll out of here, folks. Like I started at the beginning, the hot wash of the day, the last 40 X number of days of shutdown, how it affected you. Ask questions, especially if you were actually taking action, and maybe Dad will see this and give me some feedback. But I'd like to know, or I'd like to see some videos of people, what they did or considered taking action during that 30 days and how we're going to roll it forward to the next time, because if you're not looking forward to the next time, it's going to sneak up on you and probably really bite you, Wow, Nickel with all kinds of random facts. I'm not going to doubt you, Nickel. It's just kind of funny you throw that out there. Like, I guess that's possible. I don't remember Craigslist until it was like selling all kinds of stuff. So if Nickel says so, I guess it's true. Shutdowns, Right Bikes. It wasn't really a shutdown, but for whatever it's worth, people weren't getting paid. People weren't getting checks, and could have gotten worse, right? So prepare accordingly, according to the effects and what you saw in your area and we're preparing to do, and be ready for next time and be better prepared to have less effects and to help others and those around you. So let's have a good weekend. Enjoy your Veterans Day. Semper Fi to all you Bella Woodsman leathernecks out there. Stay out of trouble tonight. Somebody's got the duty. Don't have a gun. You have to come and get you out of jail. Prep hard, live free.